Hey, you're watching May's Homestead Chronicles, and today we're going to show you how to build a garden bed on contour. We're going to be using a A-frame level that we built, and you're also going to want to have a good flat shovel or a spade shovel. The whole thing with permaculture is observation. So we've been kind of looking at this land over here on this side of our property and looking at the slope that we had to work with and kind of seeing where we think would be a good spot to put this. We already have a fruit tree here, which is great. Ideally, you want to build your bed on contour using a swale and then a berm, and then you would plant your fruit tree in that berm. That's the best way to do it. But in this case, we already have a fruit tree here, so we're just going to work with it and build this swale right in front of this fruit tree. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this and show you how we do it. All right, so when it comes to the A-frame level, it was actually me and my son that did this together. So he was holding it in place at contour there, and then I would just cut a line in with a shovel just so we know where to dig for the swell. However, doing a pivot like this with the tool is really ideal. But because I was making these lines with the shovel, we knew exactly where to move it along, so it was just fine. And then as you can see here, the screw is right on that little line that I've marked, and that shows you that it's level there on contour. And that's all we're doing here to kind of get everything going. That's right. The next thing we do is start weeding out the bed that's going to be right behind the swell where we're going to be building up our berm. This is optional, of course. If you want to do like a really low maintenance bed, you don't have to do any of this, but we wanted to kind of get this bed a good start and not have to compete with a lot of weeds. All right, so right here, I'm going to start digging out the swell and building up the berm. All I'm doing is following that line that we created using the A-frame. Think of the berm as a dam that when the rain comes down, it's going to prevent that water from just washing down the hill. All right, so we got a good outline here of where we're gonna be working. So this is our bed, right, from here back. So we're gonna start slowly cutting into this because we want a gradual cut into our berm. This is the berm right here. This is going to be where our swell is, okay? I'm just going to keep chipping away at this, tossing that soil back. What's great about this, guys, is that you're going to end up with like really deep topsoil, which is really good for like your perennials and stuff that we're going to plant in here. And it saves you a bunch on materials, and you don't have to worry about getting a gym membership. Get some good workout. So I'm just going to continue to cut into this. Ideally, if you have really sandy soil, you want to go a little deeper, like maybe 12 inches plus deep. If you have a lot of clay, you can go shallower. But we're going about 10 to 12 inches on this one. And you also don't have to do it all in one day and kill yourself. You can just start working on it and build as you go. But this is like one of the best gardening systems, guys, that we've experienced out here for perennials especially. You can even plant annuals in here. So down here, guys, the swell is naturally curving this way with the contour of our land, okay? It's curving off. So we're gonna keep that so when the water comes in, it'll hold it real nice. However, you wanna have what you would call a runoff. We're gonna do that down here, or a spillway. So the bed's gonna slowly curve the opposite direction of that side. And if you look at this kind of naturally curves in this way. It's a nice little funnel for water when it rains. So that overflow will come down and it'll run right off down that way. If you're wondering why you want a spillway or a runoff, is to prevent your berm, which is going to be this back part, right, that kind of acts as like a dam. When your water comes in and fills up your swell, it acts as a dam to hold the water and let it slowly permeate down into your garden bed, watering your plants. So if you don't have a runoff, it'll eventually blow through that and create a big problem for you. All right, another thing to keep in mind as you're building your swell and you're building your bed on contour is that you want to have this natural, just it'll come down real smooth and just come up. You don't want to have any abrupt drops. That'll also help with the longevity of this bed. So see, I'm just kind of raking this like this to get a nice smooth transition down and over. And we're still kind of working on cutting in up there, but I just want to give you an idea that you can start raking that soil and forming your beds. So far it's looking really good. And if you don't have real soft soil or it's really compacted, run a sprinkler on it for like a few hours, and then run it again the next day and let that water penetrate really deep to soften the soil for you. So we're just taking that extra soil that we're cutting off here and just keep tossing it back on that bed. Cool thing about building your garden bed on contour like this is everywhere you're marking with that A-frame tool, it's finding level, okay? So that means as long as we dig the same depth all the way through, it's gonna stay level, and that water, when it comes and sits, it's gonna sit level. All I'm doing here is pulling dirt back and shaping this bed and getting it ready to be planted into. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. All right, you don't have to do this, but definitely will help to make this berm a little more tough and get it ready for a heavy rain. I'm gonna go ahead and tamp it a little bit, and then we're gonna plant us a couple plants in here, put some compost, mulch, and we'll be done. If you don't have a tamper, you can just use your feet, simply like this. Just walk over it, stomp on it. Make sure that if you are building a swale that's going to contain a fruit tree that was already established here, just make sure that you keep the dirt away from the base like this. Just rake around the bottom of it, and you don't want to. You're not trying to build up a bunch of dirt around the root system, because we're going to come in and put mulch, so we don't need a bunch of extra soil. So just kind of bring the soil around just like this and smooth it out.
Look, Dad.
All right, me and my son dug up this blackberry plant from my other garden because we didn't need it in a certain spot, so we're going to put that right here. Also, just keep in mind, on this fruit tree, we put that berm, or the swale starts back about, let's see, I'll count it for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 4 or 5 feet. Not a huge strict rule on it, but since this one's already, like I said before, a semi-established tree, I want to have the berm a little further back just to give it more room to grow. So we're going to go ahead and just dig up a little spot right here. With the berry plants, they can be a little bit closer to the berm. It's not a big deal. So we're going to take our plant out here. It's really wet because we put a bunch of, we actually dumped some of this soil in there that came with it. And the cool thing is, this blackberry had some peppermint plant growing beneath it, so we're going to put that in here too, and that's going to look really cool. Peppermint and blackberries grow really well together, and peppermint's a really good pest control. Bury it in, make sure that we press that in real good. We like to add fresh compost at the base of the plants to give them a good start. If you'd like to know how to make your own homemade compost, be sure to check out the link at the top of the screen. One of the ways that we conserve our compost is by just applying it at the base of the plant instead of the entire bed. We like to cover the entire garden bed with wood chip mulch. This helps to retain moisture, prevent erosion, encourages the life forms to come in, and also just feeds your soil really nicely. If you don't have enough mulch to do this, you can simply just put it at the base of your plants. Next, we're going to go ahead and water the plants in as well as everything else thoroughly. This is going to help that soil to settle really nicely before a big rain comes in. All right, y'all, so we got it all filled up. Just wanted to test it, make sure it's holding water properly. Everything's looking great. Over here on our spillway, looks like it's running around good. As this fills up and gets overfilled, it will eventually spill out. Everything's looking great so far. It's not perfect, but it's holding it great. So just in case you're not aware of how this works, when this water comes down and this berm here, or the swale catches the water and the berm holds it in place, this water is going to slowly permeate down into the soil, into this garden bed, going deep and watering these roots. So for us, we live in a really dry climate. This type of garden bed is fantastic. It works really well. I hope that you'll give it a shot. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. God bless y'all in Jesus' name. Take care. Oh shoot, son, look. It's a king cobra. Oh my, oh shoot. Oh, almost went in the pond there.